So you're thinking about swapping gears in your vehicle? Do this first. Go to the tire calculator versus gear ratio and see what your current setup is. That way you don't have to guess at it. What I did, instead of putting gears in my vehicle, I don't want to do that. I enjoy being able to run down the interstate 75 at 2,000 RPMs and enjoy cruising in my truck. Now, factory, I've got a 373 gear with 32-inch taller tires on it. So with those taller tires, my effective gear ratio is only around the 308 310 range. So everybody knows you put bigger vehicles or bigger tires on your vehicles, you lose some acceleration, and that's why. So what I decided to do, I decided to go extreme in the opposite. Instead of putting some 430s, 456 gears, I decided to do a little calculation and see what kind of tire size would take to get me to that gear ratio. And I use gear ratio calculator. You can Google it. I'll show you some footage here in a second. I'll be just piddling around showing you. But okay, guys. So we're talking about effective gear ratios, and this is a site that I like to use. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. Tiresize.com gives you a nice setup where you can plug a few numbers in and see exactly where you're at. So stock, my truck came with 265 60 17s, maybe 65 17s, something in that range. I don't know. I'm not going to go out there and check the door. But the tires that I have on it are 265 65 20s and 265 75 20s on the back. So I guess we can back this one up just a little bit. Let's see. Let's take it up to a 75. And what I'm trying to do here, trying to figure out what my effective gear ratio is. So the stock ratio on this truck is a 373. Let's go ahead and hit calculate. So with those large tires on my truck, the effective gear ratio is actually about a 309, which is extremely high gears. It's good highway gears, and I kind of like it for running down the road. It's great. It helps with fuel economy, whatever. But if you look, what it tells me I need to get me back to my 373 effective gear ratio would be throw some 450s in here. So which would be the closest would be 456. Me personally, I'm not going to do that, at least not that high. I enjoy being able to cruise around in my truck, take it to the track, throw some tires on it. So this is what I did. I went the other way. I knew that these huge tires were killing me, and I decided to, just for an experiment, I did this. Let's see. So let's take it back to. Okay, so this is what I did. We got our stock tires back up there, which is they're not stock tires, obviously. That's what I've been running: 265, 75, R20s all the way around. And what I did is I went out and got some small tires. Now I went extreme with it. I went all the way down to some 26-inch tall tires, which so effectively I've got a 5-to-1 gear ratio. And to get back to the 373, I have to drop it all the way down to 275s with these little tires. But the whole point in me doing this, I know a lot of people think the only way you can increase speed in an eighth mile, quarter mile is to throw gears into it. Myself, I just went the other way. Instead of putting gears in it, I actually enjoy being able to drive my truck around. So I can throw these smaller tires on my truck when I go to the track and effectively have a 5-to-1 gear ratio in my truck. I decided to go with some 26-inch tall tires, and the proof's in the pudding. I mean, it worked. I dropped from a 1040 something, let's just say 1050, all the way down into the nines yesterday. The best run was a 960-ish, and the only thing I did was change my tire size. That was it. My 60-foot improved from a 290 something to about a 250 something. No, 240. Yeah, I got a 246. So I took 5/10 off my 60-foot time, which, I mean, it's hard to beat. So, and I was able to throw my big tires back on it to drive home and set my cruise at 75 with air conditioning going, cruising down the road, getting 18 miles per gallon. And I was able to drop nearly a full second at the track. So consider this before you start throwing gear. I mean, if you want to put gears in your vehicle, if it's a race car, gear it, absolutely. But if it's a street car that you like taking to the track every once in a while, consider this first. Go to the calculator, see what kind of ratio you're already running. Put a couple of numbers in there, see what size tire it's going to take to get you to the gear ratio you want. Now, within reason, you may have trouble with, you may have trouble hooking up. So you don't want to go crazy like I did. Now, I went extreme. I went an extreme just so I could prove a point. Now, and I'll tell you right now, there was a lot of people looking at me putting these little tiny tires on my truck, and they were giggling and they were laughing. But after I put those little tires on it and it nearly dropped a full second, nobody was laughing anymore. So just think about it. Consider this before you go crazy throwing gears in your vehicle. If you, like I said, if you've got a street car that you like to run occasionally, think about this. Think about it. It could save you some money and it'll keep your drivability. But as usual, thanks for watching, guys. I've got a lot more stuff coming, and I'll keep you posted.